Hey guys, welcome to a happy Easter Friday Waffle. Yeah, why is it that things like Christmas Day, they're set in stone? New Year's Day always falls on the same day, and yet Easter, they can't decide when Easter falls. Never understood that. And Easter's one of these things that I never actually know when it's going to be. But anyway, yeah, happy Easter folks. I'm on holiday until I'm on holiday on Monday as well. So yeah, fantastic, and the sun is shining as well. Life could not be any better. Well, possibly it could, but anyway. So how the hell are you? I hope you're all doing absolutely fine. I've not had a chance to change, hence the reason I've still got my work clothes on. Let me think. Apologies about the lack of any videos this week. I have got a couple kinda almost finished. And I just hadn't actually got around to kind of physically finishing them off. So I will get these done. Hang on, I'm just going to move this over a wee bit. You get over there so you can hear me a wee bit better, so I don't have to shout. I will try and get more content out. Now, I've been doing a bit of thinking about my channel. Over the last, I would probably say the last 2 years since I've been in this house, I have kinda not really been I've not been putting out much in the way of normal videos. When I say normal videos, I mean non-stream type videos. A few years ago, I would put out maybe, I wouldn't say 5 videos, I was certainly putting out at least 3-4 videos every week. Whereas in the last couple of years, I've just kinda stopped doing it. I don't know why, I keep saying it, I've probably got the fact that I'm now living on my own. There's, technically I should have more time, but it doesn't seem to kind of have worked out that way, which is quite bizarre. But there's been a few things that have kind of happened over the last kind of couple of months, and it's just made me think about my channel in general. Now, I will still be doing the Friday Waffle as long as you guys continue to give me stuff. There will still be a Friday Waffle. I will continue to do the Sunday live stream. Suffice to say, I think if I was to stop doing that, I would be lynched and I'd have my head put on a large spike. The Friday Waffle is still going to continue. The Sunday live streams will also continue. I mean, the last 2 weeks, 2 Sundays, for the first time ever, I've managed to get above 60 viewers. I think before that it was about 52. Last week, I think it was about 64 viewers, which it doesn't sound a lot, but trust me, for a small channel like mine's, that's a lot of people. The Sunday live stream is still seems to be popular. So I'm still going to continue to do these, but I do want to try and get back to getting more kind of videos just with me playing games, talking about games, because the thing is, the thing I like about YouTube, there's a couple of reasons I like YouTube. One is the creativity. It's a platform that allows me to basically come up with stupid ideas for things. Some of them work, some of them don't work. But you know what? It's an area that I think I'm a frustrated actor, so I like having the fact that I can make videos, I can do all these daft things, partly to hopefully entertain some people, but also, I don't know, I enjoy doing it. So I miss, and doing live streams, I'm not entertaining at all. I mean, all I'm doing is playing games, and I'm commenting, I'm replying to comments. Which is great, because I do like the social aspect. I love the fact that people enjoy taking part. I love the fact that people want to talk to me. You can engage with people in real life or in real time. Whereas when you're just making videos, the only engagement you have is basically through comments. So I do like these two aspects, but I have missed making videos, and I do want to get back to it, because like I said, this week I didn't do any videos. I think I did the Sunday stream, and then that's been it, and then obviously the Friday Waffle. So I do want to kind of get back to that. I was I was supposed to be interviewing Ian Gray, ex-Interceptor Software. I was meant to be interviewing him on Tuesday this week. Now, he did get in touch through the channel, and he also got in touch through email. And it was kind of, we'd agreed a time and a date. I think it was 7:30 on Tuesday. But I messaged him a few times, in the sort of the week beforehand, and he never got back in touch with me. And I messaged him again the day before, and then I messaged him that night, just basically saying, look, can you please let me know if you're going to be if you're going to be taking part in this. And he never got back to me. So that was a wee bit disappointing. I mean, I'm certainly not going to, it doesn't matter who you are, I'm not going to go chasing after people. Something could have cropped up, but it didn't happen. So I'm hoping it's not a piss take, because I still find it very, very, very unlikely, shall we say, that Ian Gray, who's virtually disappeared off the face of the planet, would get in touch with me. Why would he get in touch with me? Apparently, according to him, the person that claims he's Ian Gray, told me that one of his friends had mentioned that there's this guy on YouTube, always plays China Miner at the end of his Sunday live stream. So, like I said, I'm a wee bit. I'm still. The jury is still out, shall we say, on whether that was him or not. Hopefully it is, and hopefully if Ian's watching this, he will get back in touch and we can make it happen. Because I'd prepared all the questions, so when it didn't happen, I was a wee bit disappointed. But like I said, I want to try and get back to doing more blind mates onlys, arcade perfects, 8-bit face-off kerfuffles, they did what, loads of stuff. I've got loads of ideas I still want to do, so I am trying to kind of get back to my original roots. Still have the live streams, still have them, and I probably will still do the occasional arcade perfect live stream, because it's a great way to it's fun, it's good fun doing it with actual people watching. So that's kind of where I am with the channel. I do want to, get that going. Apart from that, nothing. I've been doing absolutely nothing. Still waiting on my. I ordered a RetroPie jammer board thing, which is basically going to allow me to put a Raspberry Pi into my arcade cabinet. So I've got that ordered. It's coming from Australia. No idea when it's going to turn up, and one of my mates that watches the channel, he's very kindly done an image of a card for me as well, so looking forward to getting that. What else? Was there anything else? No, I don't think there is. So listen guys, what I'm going to do is, I know it's going to be a short waffle, but it's far too nice. You shouldn't be watching me, you should be outside playing or whatever. So I'm just going to look at the questions from last week. And you older gamer Steve, waffle question time. Number 1, if you have an on-the-go handheld emulator, do you have an on-the-go handheld emulator that you carry around with you, and if so, what is it? I've got loads of handheld emulators. I mean, I've got the GPDXT, I've got the NVIDIA Shield Portable, I've got the Amber Neck, whatever it is, I've got the PSP, there's numerous ones. Do I carry them with me? No, I don't. The only time I ever take a portable, I use a portable or take it with me, is when I'm going to a hotel. If I'm going away to a hotel overnight, I always like to take it, just so I can give me something to do rather than watching TV. It's a weird one. I don't know. I mean, I literally do play less and less games now. Don't know why, but no, I never ever. I think is I'm never in a position when I'm out and about. I'm either driving or I'm in the car. I'm either driving, I should say, or else I'm in a shop. So I mean, I think if I was like having to commute to work every day, and I was on like a train or a bus for a couple of hours, I probably would use it. But it's not something I've never actually. So it's a bit daft to be owning all these handhelds when I rarely use them. But then I suppose that applies to about 99% of the stuff I've actually got. So yeah, I don't, Steve. But if I was going to use one, in fact, there's something that I have purchased and I've not got it yet. I think I'm going to get it in May. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but it might have something to do with what you've just asked me. Number 2, if you went back in time and were asked to redesign the original C64 bread box, what would you make it look like and what colour would it be? Well, it would absolutely be the same. I wouldn't change it. The C64 is a cracking machine. I'm not a fan of the C64C as much as the original bread box. The original bread box it's iconic, it's classic. I wouldn't change the colour. I would probably put a better keyboard, because to be fair, the keyboard is a bit pants. It is, compared to like the Atari, the BBC, the Lynx, all these machines, they had really good keyboards. The Commodore 64 keyboard is a bit plasticky. It's very, very breakable. So I'd probably put I would definitely put a new, keyboard on it. But apart from that, I wouldn't change a thing. Absolutely not, Steve. Anyway, thank you for your question. Colin Jones, some great topics covered in the last waffle. Very interesting to hear all your views. Now, for a totally offbeat question for next waffle, what's your favourite fruit? Edible, as opposed to unedible. What's your favourite edible fruit and why, in your inimitable waffle style? My favourite fruit? Blimey, that's a good one. I mean, I like a lot of fruit. I don't eat a lot of fruit. I don't eat enough fruit. I have been eating a lot more bananas, not because I particularly enjoy them, but because I know they're quite healthy. My favourite fruit, I love a nice juicy orange. Who doesn't? I love like mandarin oranges and tangerines. Tell me, what is the difference between a tangerine, a clementine, and Satsuma? They're all the same, are they not? I don't know. If anyone knows what the difference is, please tell me. What was I going to say to you? Yeah, I think favourite fruit. I think my favourite fruit would have to be a strawberry. Now, I don't like strawberries as much as I did back in the 70s and 80s. And for one simple reason, they're just far too readily available. You can go into Morrison's, you can go into Asda, Lidl's, whatever. You can go into your corner shop and you can buy strawberries 24 hours a day. That's a bit daft to say that. 365 days of the year. Back in the 70s, strawberries only really came out in the summertime, and they were expensive, and you also had to pick your own. So it was a big treat. It was a big treat back in the 70s. Strawberry time, we would go as a family, go and pick them, and half the time you'd end up eating more than you actually picked. But yeah, it was a treat, and it's the same with like fast food. Back in the 70s and 80s, you know, there was no such thing as McDonald's. I think there was a Wimpy in Edinburgh, and they sold like a hamburger and chips, and that was kind of it. There was no McDonald's, there was no KFC, Nando's, Domino's, any of that bollocks. That didn't exist. That simply did not exist until, you know, far more recently. And again, you know, as a treat to the family, we would go to the chip shop and get a bag of chips. And it's the same with strawberries. Strawberries were a treat for us. Now you can just pick them up, and I think you can tell that they're kind of, I wouldn't say they're force fed. You can tell, pardon me, I've got hiccups. You can tell that they're not natural growing, because a lot of the strawberries now, they're these huge big kind of square, like kind of, I don't know why I'm doing that, like you don't know what a square looks like. They're kind of squarey shaped. Very, very bizarre. They're flat and square, whereas strawberries should be strawberry shaped. Strawberry shaped, that's a James Bond, that one. Yeah, and also they don't taste as nice. I think you can tell that they are kind of being forced, whereas back in the day they grew in the sunlight. You know, they grew naturally. They were more juicy. They maybe weren't as big, but they were lovely. They were a lot redder looking, had a lot more flavour. So yeah, I think, Colin, I would go for strawberries. But I do like a lot. What else do I like? I like kiwi fruit. There's one fruit which I cannot stand, and it's pears. Don't know why, I just don't like pears. I don't like the kind of grittiness when you bite it. You've got this kind of, it's like eating something with sand in it. It's a bizarre thing. Not a fan of that. I don't like pears. Love pineapple. I've really taken a shine to pineapple. My girlfriend's actually got this big tool thing that you take the top off the pineapple, then you screw this thing into it, and what it does is it ends up, it's like a big slinky. You pull it out and you've got this big slinky type thing of pineapple. It's beautiful, really nice. So pineapples, I'm not a fan of is it Granny Smith apples. I like the kind of juicy ones. Golden Delicious are quite nice as well. I do eat bananas. I do eat a lot. I probably eat more bananas than anything, but it's more just from a kind of healthy point of view though. I do know they've got a lot of sugar. It's probably natural sugar, so it's not too bad. Things like plums I've not had for a long time. I also like grapes. I love seedless grapes, especially the purple ones. So yeah, but I'd probably say strawberries, Colin. Down the rabbit hole for the Friday Waffle. Hi Alan, as you're a big fan of Robotron, I thought I would let you know there's a version of it for the Game Boy Color called Infinitron. You might want to try it out. Thank you very much, Kevin. I've not seen that, but I'll definitely go and check it out. Secondly, Top Hat Gaming Man did a recent video mentioning that when he started doing live streams on YouTube, it caused the algorithm to stop promoting his videos. Have you experienced any kind of dip in your views considering how much live streaming you do nowadays? You know what, Kev? No, not at all. I mean, my channel is so small that I would not have a clue about algorithms or whether it's affected things, good and bad. Yeah, Top Hat Gaming Man's obviously got a much bigger channel. I mean, I did actually watch a wee bit. I'm not a fan of him. I have to say, the guy who plays the part of Top Hat Gaming is a lovely bloke. He obviously puts this image across as being really kind of arrogant and, you know, above himself, look down on people. That's the character that he plays. In real life, the guy's absolutely brand new. I met him down in Blackpool a couple of years ago. An absolutely sound guy. Am I a fan of his video channel? Nah, I'm not at all. I think because he does it full time. Don't get me wrong, the videos that he does with other full-time YouTubers, they're amazing videos. They're like kind of TV programme quality. But I just find that they just sort of lack the genuine emotion, I think, that you get with smaller channels. So yeah, I'm not sure. But yeah, as I said, I wouldn't actually know, Kevin. I mean, I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, all I do know is that my live streams seem to be getting more popular, so go figure. I don't know. I really don't know. And thirdly, I might be in the market for a steering wheel controller for old retro games. Any advice on a type to get or warnings of things I should avoid? I'm not the best person to really advise, Kevin. I mean, what have I got? I'll show you actually. Let me have a look. It's down here. Yeah, the only steering thing I've got, hopefully you can see that, is this. It's basically plugs into the Xbox 360. It's got a USB connector. It's got all these buttons, all that kind of stuff. And it's got the Xbox button there as well. It's nice. It's a nice controller to use. You can also plug it in. Sorry, I shouldn't even be talking when I'm over here. You can also plug it in. Where's that mud come from? You can also plug it in and use it on your PC. So if you want to use it in MAME. But I mean, I do know that there's people pay, you know, a lot of money for steering wheels. I mean, they go up to like hundreds and hundreds of pounds. That one there I got for like 30 quid off eBay. You know, but do I use it? Hell no. I have tried to use it in the past, and I think I'm used to playing driving games with like 360 controllers, so I tend to kind of just go back to that. But that one there, I mean, it'll work. Obviously, it's not going to work with your PlayStation, but it'll work with your Xbox. I think it'll work with your Xbox, not Xbox, sorry. Yeah, I have Xbox, what am I talking about? It'll work with your Xbox, whatever it is. I don't even know the name of the latest Xboxes, but like I said, you can use it on the PC as well. But so I suppose if when you're talking about retro games, you're talking about emulation, then I think something like that would work absolutely perfectly. There's There's loads of them. Best thing to do, Kev, is watch a proper video on YouTube and just see what's what. Like I said, there's some, you get pedals and all that. I don't bother with that. I just go for the kind of controller thing. But yeah. Anyway, Kev, thank you very much for the questions. And let's have a wee look. Ye Olde Gamer Steve, great waffle, guys. Enjoyed every minute of it. Cheers. Leaguesy, Stadium Events is a track and field NES game. It sold for 30,000 at one point. Yeah, but we're talking about games. Why would anybody pay £30,000 for a game? I suppose it's the same way somebody would pay £20 million for the Mona Lisa, probably more. Just people with way too much money. Somebody who pays that for a game is not a video game fan. It's all about collecting. I don't get it. Absolutely don't get it. I mean, if I had the choice between getting a game with a box for 30 quid or a game without a box for 20, I'd probably go for the one at 20. Absolutely nuts. Delboy 3K1, great waffle, and thank you for always considering me for a chat. You're very welcome, Del. I love talking pish with you guys and all on Discord. Question, when it comes to emulators past and present, is there an old emulator that you use that you feel still has some work to do to make it accurate or usable? Or do you think most emulators these days are trying to emulate new machines like PS4 and Xbox One rather than our old favourites like SNES and Vice? I think the thing is, Dale, I mean emulators for classic systems, you know, the Commodore 64, the Spectrum, excuse me, they've been around for 20 years now. So there's not many emulators for machines. There's not many machines that I'm aware of, old machines, that aren't emulated really well. I mean, the C64, you've got WinVice, absolutely perfect. You've got Spectaculator for the SNES, for the Spectrum. You've got Clive, which was written by my mate Steve Snake for the Spectrum. You've got BBM for the BBC, does a good job. You've got, what's it called? I can't even remember the name of it. You've got the Amstrad one. So there are emulators. You've got Altera for the Amstrad, not the Amstrad, for the Atari. I think the only one I'm not a fan of, and I find it quite, when it works really well, but it's quite finicky. Is finicky even a word? Is the MSX, is it Blue something or other it's called? I can sometimes find that being a wee bit unusable. But yeah, I think the thing is, Dale, it's like, you know, you and I are dinosaurs. We enjoy playing the Spectrum and the Commodore 64. Modern gamers, you know, more current generations would much rather, they're going to want to emulate the PlayStation 3, the PlayStation 4. I'm sure that's just round the corner. So I can understand why it's the more modern emulators that are getting worked on now, because there are emulators. There's emulators out there already for all these old machines, and I think they play pretty well. I can't think of any machine that I've got, or not machine, any like old system that I think that, you know, the emulator's rubbish. I mean, WinUE for the Amiga can be quite footery to use, but it does a cracking job. The same with Steam on the Atari ST. I don't think that's been updated for quite a while, although I think somebody else has brought out a kind of version of Steam for the Atari ST. But most systems, I would say, like your Mega Drive, you know, you've got your Kega Fusion, you've got various emulators for the SNES, you've got a cracking PC Engine emulator, then you've got things like RetroArch, which kind of emulates everything as well. So yeah, I think we're pretty covered as far as old emulators or emulators for old systems. And I'm not a massive fan of modern emulators. I wonder how long it'll be before we can emulate a PlayStation 4. Probably not that far away, because, you know, obviously the power that you've got in a modern PC is just insane. So anyway, Dale, thank you very much. Excuse me. And the last one is Milthy Swinbuckle. Hello again, Mainmeister. Not so much of a question this week, more of an opinion, and wondering whether or not you agree with it. My view of coin-munching arcade games has changed a little of late, since playing many of them during the Mainmeister High Score kerfuffle. I used to think that once games started taking money for continues, the rot had begun to set in and arcades were on their way out. Now, although I do think that this is still pretty much the case, the one thing about having MAME and all the arcade games to play means you can play more modern games with just the one credit over and over, trying to beat your previous attempts. Doing this puts a skill factor back into many games that I once thought were simply made for emptying pockets. Games before that I never really bothered playing much, as I felt no matter how good you played, something unfair would pop up and stop your progress, so you had to put more cash into the machine. I guess my question this week is, do you think that games with continues, provided you dish out and dosh, are of any worth? I mean, absolutely, but I think they're designed to. It's all about the sort of eye candy. It's about the levels, the fancy graphics. Something like Gauntlet. The only way you're ever going to get further in Gauntlet in most of these games is by putting money in. Because what we need to remember is, video games, arcade video games, they weren't written for pleasure. They were written to make money. They want to get the hook the person in. And then make them want to put more money in to continue playing it. So, I mean, absolutely, these games are, I mean, things like Mercs and, I don't even mind, I'm trying to think of any. I would say virtually any 1990s arcade game, late 80s, Final Fight, Double Dragon, they all had continues. They wanted people to play them. But because I'm a bit of an old fart, I don't like using continues. So even when I play a game like R-Type, which is designed for you to put more money in, because not many people had the skill to complete a game in one credit unless you're Charlie Farr or Slick Boy. They're designed to basically empty your pockets. But I'm just stupid. I don't know what it is. I think it's because I'm real old school. One hit, you die, you lose a life. 3 lives, game over. So when I play games like, not that I play Final Fight, but when I play games that ask for continues, I just won't do it. It just feels to me not right. I mean, there was a Capcom collection came out for the Switch just a couple of weeks ago actually, which I bought, and it emulates. It's like all the Capcom classics, like Commando, 1942, Mercs, Ghost and Goblins, all these ones. And believe it or not, when you're playing, say you're playing 1942 and you die, if you hold down one of the trigger buttons, it does a reverse, it rewinds, and then you can start playing from just before you died. And you know what? To me, that is completely wrong. And I was thinking to myself, why would a company put that into a classic game? Why would you do that? And the simple reason is because they've got to appeal to this generation. This generation, like my daughter's age, 16, 17 years old, I don't care what anybody says, the games now are far simpler. You can just play them. There's really no skill involved. You get to a level, you save it, you die, you reload, you get past it. There's no real achievement. And I think they've put this rewind feature in to basically appeal to these kind of younger people. Whereas somebody like myself, I would never in a million years dream of playing one of these games, dying and then rewinding and continuing, because I think the thing is, most of the classic games, Asteroids, Galaxian, whatever, there's no end to them. Space Invaders, there is no end to them. So you wouldn't want to keep putting money in. Why would you want to continue a game like that? Because it's just endless. The whole point in a game like that is to try and beat your high score. It's all about, you're never going to win. It's about beating your high score. And so that kind of, I still look at that. When I play a more modern game, I still don't want to put continues in. So yeah, I think, are they of any worth? Absolutely. There's loads of people that love all these games. Things like Smash TV and whatever. They all have continues. I mean, even earlier games had continues. So they're absolutely worth playing. But for me, and that's why probably I don't get very far in these games, because I just play it, one credit, die, I'll then restart from the very beginning again. So Anyway, listen, thank you very much, guys, for all the questions. Please keep the questions coming, and any topics in that as well. I'll be along on 6 o'clock on Sunday. Now, it is going to be, I'm not going to say it's going to be a 4 hour, it is going to be an extended live stream because I'm on holiday on Monday. Yay! So I'm going to, I don't know, we'll just play, we'll see how we go. We'll go for 2 hours. If people still want to watch after 8 o'clock, I'll continue. If we end up going for 3-4 hours, great. You know, fantastic. So I've not thought of a topic yet. I'll think about it and I'll put it in Facebook. So anyway, listen guys, I just want to say thank you very much. I have picked up a few subscribers, I noticed in the last couple of weeks, so thank you very much to anybody that's just recently subscribed, started watching my channel and giving me a thumbs up. Really do appreciate it. Thanks as always to all the regular people that support my channel. Like I say, if it wasn't for you lot, I simply wouldn't do this. I will see you Sunday guys, 6 o'clock. Finally have an excellent weekend, and as always, thank you very much for watching. Yeah, so retro, has it got too popular? And this is purely my opinion. Personally, I think it has. Now here's the thing that kind of annoys me about, it's not even so much retro, but it's just, I think in video games in general, you know, as we all know, if you want to get a PlayStation 5, then you can't buy one unless you're extremely lucky, because yeah, scalpers have come along and they have basically cleaned up, and so, I mean, I have a few friends who've been trying to get a hold of a PlayStation 5 for, I don't know, best part of 3-4 months. You know, how did we get to this situation where you simply cannot buy something that you want? Now I know it's not, this isn't the first time that's happened. I mean, I think the Wii was the same. I think some of the more modern consoles, but in this day and age, why have we got to a stage where you're unable to pick up a consumer product that you want? I mean, if you want to get a TV, you can virtually turn up in Argos, whatever, buy one. You can go to Amazon, you can buy one. So why is it that we're in this predicament? The camera keeps moving. Why have we got to this predicament where if you want the latest video game, you can't get it? You simply cannot buy it. So yeah, there's that side of it. You know, 30-40 years ago, not even as much as that, when the PlayStation came out, you could just go and buy one off the shelf. You know, you never had a problem with the what do you call it, the SNES or the Mega Drive. I think possibly the N64 was quite hard to get a hold of. But yeah, you know, like I says, back in the day, if you wanted a machine, you just went and bought it. You didn't have to worry about, you know, trying to get a hold of one, and, you know, going in. You certainly didn't go into eBay and pay, you know, twice the price. I mean, some of the prices that people are charging, I'll need to stop moving my hand there. Some of the prices that people are charging for the PlayStation 5 is just absolutely ridiculous. You know, I mean, they can piss off as far as I'm concerned. But I think it's partly, well, it's not partly, it's massively down to the fact that this video games hobby has grown so popular, that, you know, there's this massive demand for new machines. Whereas 30 years ago, you know, certainly when it was the home computers, they were very niche. Well, I wouldn't say they were niche. I mean, you can't possibly call the Spectrum on a C64 a niche product, but back then it was die-hard computer people that wanted them. You know, it was almost embarrassing to say that you're a computer gamer. Certainly me as an adult, I wouldn't want to, you know, I was quite embarrassed to be a video gamer. So you could easily go and buy a computer off the shelves, and now we've now reached, you know, mass market. I think probably since the PlayStation came along, the original PlayStation, they made video games acceptable, you know, and it wasn't just video gamers that played them, you know. I mean, I think when the PlayStation first came out, and certainly when Wipeout came out, Sony were putting them into nightclubs, so it made it popular. It made people want to play, you know, desire video games. But like I says, back in the day, video games were a thing for children and geeks, and that was it. That was absolutely it. So there was never a problem. So yeah, am I getting fed up with video games? Certainly, as far as modern systems go, then definitely. I mean, I've got, oh bloody hell, I got a fight in my life there. A stone hit the windscreen. Dearie me. Woo. Yeah, I mean, I've got a PlayStation 4. I couldn't tell you the last time I actually played a game in it. I've got no interest in buying a PlayStation 5, unless of course they come down to £100 and I might think about it. But yeah, I don't know, I think we have become saturated. You know, you go into the internet, you go into Facebook, and you get inundated with, you know, these little consoles, you know, these Japanese consoles that can play any game. You get inundated with people selling, all these companies making sort of arcade machines and charging £1,500 for them. So it is mass market. There's all these different sort of generic MAME cabs and, you know, what have you, these little Japanese handhelds, and you know, you just get them bombarded at you all the time. You've got all these mini consoles, you've got these mini Pac-Man arcade machines, these replica, you know, your what's it called, 1-Up or something, I think it's called. There's all these different companies just bombarding and saturating the market with all these different machines. And yeah, I've kind of got really no interest in modern games now because of that. I just kind of get, I don't know, I don't so much get bored with it. It just puts me off. It just puts me off seeing how popular they are. I think I definitely preferred video games when it was children and geeks that were into it. And you know, and that's why now I've got no interest. I've got no interest in playing modern games. Quite frankly, I just find them dull. I find them boring. And I'm not saying that they are dull and boring, it's probably me that's dull and boring, but I've got no interest in playing, you know, modern games. I really don't. And the more modern and the more kind of, I don't know what you want to say, the more sort of technologically advanced they've become, the less interest I've got in playing them. You know, so, you know, people have always said to me, will you ever grow out of playing video games? And I would always say, hell no, as long as I can, sorry, I keep slipping down, as long as I can hold a joystick or a gamepad in my hand before I get the onset of arthritis, then I will continue to be into video games. But if I didn't have the ability to play 8-bit machines, I didn't have the ability to play the Commodore Amiga, the Mega Drive, stuff like that, and the only games that I could play were cutting edge, brand new games on brand new systems, would I still be in this hobby? Honest answer, I don't think so. I really don't think so. I'm just kind of, I don't know what it is. I've just got no interest in playing modern games. I couldn't care less about Call of Duty or all these, you know, these brand new machines or games that are coming out. The only modern system that I've got any real interest in is the Switch, and I think that's down to the fact that I can play old games in it. You know, I can play modern versions of Outrun and Virtua Racing, you know, and I recently bought the Capcom collection. So yeah, the only reason I like modern systems is where I can play older games. I really do think that I have no interest in these brand new games. Don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I mean, I've tried to play them, and I have played them in the past, but I don't know. I just don't have any real affection. I don't have any real incentive or passion to play them. It's a weird one. But like I said, I just think, I don't know, even YouTube, you're getting absolutely drowned in channels and YouTube channels, and you know, and that's, I don't know, I'm not one of these people that say, oh, if something becomes too hip and trendy, then I don't want to be part of it. Not at all. I mean, I don't know, I just think that I really have, the more people talk about modern systems and modern games and even things like, you know, retro game and all that, I don't know, I just think I preferred it when video games were more niche and it was the geeks and kids that played them. Now we're at a stage where, you know, you go, I mean, I've literally just come out of Tesco. I need to hurry up and get over here. I've literally just come out of Tesco, and you've got all these what do you call it, you can walk into Tesco and pick up, you know, FIFA 2022 when you're getting your messages. That's how mainstream this hobby has become, that you can buy video games in a supermarket. So yeah, it's the polar opposite of what it used to be. So anyway, I'm probably boring you to death. That's just my opinion. Where I see myself, I think when all my consoles decide to break, they need recapped, I can't play them anymore, or for some reason I'm unable to play, you know, old systems on a computer, I think that'll be the day that I probably just decide to kind of pack in video games completely.